How you doing, everybody? How you doing? This is Justin here from KFS Demo. A little bit of update today on some derbies that was happening over the weekend, and ones that I think should be coming up. So, I believe Tuesday they have Warren County, their derby. See last video for reference on that for the exact date. I think it's the 3rd. 7 o'clock, I believe. Parables Derby is the 6th for Warren County Fair in Warren County, Virginia. I've been front row. It's trying to think of a good idea to tell you where it's at. Is it right past? No, it's right before RSW jail, regional jail, and actually no, I think it's right after. I'm sorry, right after, right in that little section there on 522 on the right hand side. If you're coming from front row from town, so. Here's the update on that. Now, on my next rendition of, let's see if we can get a new promoter in the state of Virginia for a Valley show. I'm not naming who the promoter is that I'm going to talk about. But let's just say, this ain't the first time this promoter has had either low numbers or been called out on something. So, what I'm getting ready to say, good Lord, a lot of birds. What I'm getting ready to say here is, I'm saying facts again. We need a new promoter here in the state of Virginia, in the Valley. I've been in talk to somebody, and he is on board if we can get it rolling. Heck, I'll say his name. TJ is on board if we can get this thing rolling here in this area. We can get dates set up. We can get the promoters to say, hey, let's do this. Or not promoters, but the fair boards. TJ is on board to rolling with shows here in the Shenandoah Valley. I've been talking to TJ. We can get this thing going. But first, unfortunately, we got to get through this derby season. As like I said, I'm not saying the promoter's name. But from what I hear, the fair that they had this weekend, which I think it was Friday and Saturday night. I ain't naming the location. People that watch these videos know what I'm talking about. Either one had a low car count and a sandbag, low car count, or two, it was a sandbag fest. Again, wonder why. So, like I said, I'm not naming the promoter. I'm not going to call them out on this. Everybody that watches these videos knows who I'm talking about. But what I got to say that, and this coming from me being, I mean, yeah, it's just, I was just a Parallels Derby promoter. What I consider, I do it for the fans. If you've got a problem with how I run my show, come to me and talk to me about it. That's what should happen. You shouldn't have to have low numbers, or you shouldn't make derby drivers bring out low numbers because they don't like how you run things and you don't change it. I'm a strong believer in, especially from a fan standpoint, getting what you come for. I don't come to shows to watch low numbers. I don't come to shows to see a sandbag fest. I mean, yeah, these guys do put, in the class that I'm talking about, these guys do put a lot of money in their cars. I will admit it. But the way I look at it, and it's just me, you may not like what I'm talking about, but in my point of view, if you're going to build a car to put on a show for the fans. Build a car that you don't have to spend $3,000 and $4,000 and worrying, oh shit, am I going to trash it in one run or not? Build a car that you knows you're going to put on a show that shows how you can drive. Like I said, I ain't saying who the promoter is, but when it comes to shows like that, you need to enforce what happens. if I ever do become a full Derby promoter, that's one thing I'm going to do. You sandbag and I purposely see it. Whoever's working for me, I'm going to give you one opportunity. When I see it a second time, I'm going to break your stick, break your flag, break whatever you've got. That signifies that you run in Derby. I will break your stick or I will break your flag 110%. You got some guys that scratch and bleed to try to run shows and barely have money to run shows. But yet you're gonna have a promoter that, let's just say, have a promoter that allows the sandbagging. And I'll put it as nicely as I can right now. But from what I've heard, people seen harder hits in bumper cars. And that's saying something. You go and look at, and I will say this promoter's name. You go and look at TJ shows and all the money they spend in their cars. That Dead Man and No Mercy. The guys up in Maryland put on a show. Every heat. Doesn't matter what they put in their cars and how much money they put on the show for the fans because they know they want to see it. That's what we need. We have 2 huge tracks here in the valley. Huge tracks in the valley. Frederick County and Woodstock. TJ's done said he's wanting to go to wanting to go to Clark County or Frederick County, the Tom's Brook, because of the track size. I'm telling you, the way it was set up, the way Woodstock's set up, that'd be another big track for a show. Right along 81, perfect prime spot. But like I said before, we have to get a promoter like TJ in here and get these shows rolling, for real. Because if not, 5-6 years from now, there ain't gonna be no shows around here. At all. Ain't been no shows around for nobody to see. So, like I said, I really didn't want to go on a rant like this again. I really didn't. Because unfortunately, it's getting to be an occurrence. Because the promoter that I'm talking about has run big shows and showed big crowds. And at one point had the potential to be a star show here in the valley. But I just don't know what happened. And unfortunately for the guys up in that area, it's a shame. It's really a shame. So, like I said, when Derby season, off season rolls around, I'm gonna get a hold of or get contacts for TJ for the different fair boards around here. And we're going to start talking about him getting these shows around here. Because you got one promoter that won't even let you run a blue line or a red line flag. I ain't naming no names on that promoter either. That promoter there is lucky. I've talked to 2 guys right now. He's lucky if 2 local drivers are going to show up to that show just because of that reason. Because for somebody, for that fair that's coming up, I ain't giving the fair away either, because if I do, it's going to get the promoter away. For that fair, they're going to want to show blue line support. They're going to want to show red line support for various reasons. So, with that being said, the way I look at it, next year we're going to have unfortunately, a clean sweep of promoters around here and have one big promoter running all these shows. The one promoter might not come off of a certain area. Well, you know what? There's 3 more shows. Yeah, 3 more shows in this area that he can promote at, that TJ can promote at. I will tag TJ in this. I will tag his YouTube page. I will link his Facebook page to this. If you watch my videos, once I put the links down in the description box below, Show TJ support. Show Deadman Derby Productions support. Heck, he might even bring Track Shot along. You never know. Might even bring Offer Him along. You never know. We're in talks about that too. Possibly, maybe happening. We need to put these valley shows back on the map like they were 20 years ago. Where people come out of state and ran down here. When guys like Brian Foltz, rest in peace. When he had guys from when guys like Brian Foltz and Jason Taylor and Patrick Reed and all the guys that they knew and they ran with up in Pennsylvania, Maryland, come to these valley shows and ran. It ran hard. Ran dang hard. Back in the 90s. Earliest show I can remember, 95, 96. Rockingham County and Page County Fair, both of them respectively. At one point in time, you had the biggest, largest turnout in the state for a derby at Rockingham. So, what's that tell you? So at the time, somebody knew what they were doing. Now, unfortunately, they just all about the money, and it's sad. It really is. Like I said, I'm not naming promoters or who I'm talking about. I'm not, because I don't want to get on nobody's bad side. But it, in my opinion, has to stop. It has to be more about the fans than about the money. So, I didn't want it to be 11 minutes and, 40 seconds long video, just a rant, but you know what, it has to be. Alright, back to a different subject now. Like I said, Boren County got their derby, I think, Tuesday night. I don't know if they're running one or two shows. I think just one this year. And then you've got Harrisonburg coming up the week after. Then you got Page coming up the week after that. And then you got Woodstock. So there's 4 shows right here in the valley. We could have a good turnout. Let's make it happen this year. Hopefully we'll see everybody out there. And hopefully I'll get to run. At least Page, at least. But like I said, still got to pick the car. Well, I ain't picking the car up, but buddy of mine still got to pick the car up yet. See if he can get it running. If he can get it running, then maybe I talk my wife into it. Maybe I'll run. Maybe not. Depends on what she says. Hopefully I can get her talking her into it. That's be the first time since 2017 that I ran, if I do run. So, didn't really want to make this a rant video. Really didn't want to. But it has to be done. I mean, from what I'm seeing. From what I've seen, it had to be a rant video. It had to be. I mean, just from what I've seen, talked to everybody, seen on Facebook. So I'm going to say it for now. For here, the next couple weeks, hopefully I ain't got no rant videos. Hey, hopefully I can have good things about about shows coming up and results and everything like that. But I will give a good note though. I will give a good note. The derby that happened this week up at Tom's Brook, up in Winchester area, Frederick County. BWC Semper Fi Fab Shop boys put on a show with the compact. I will say that. I will give them credit for that. Walker Cloud, I will give you a shout out for that. You and I think Jason, I think who it was, if I remember right, correct me if I'm wrong, but y'all, from what I hear, put on a show for the fans in Winchester. So that's a good thing. Make Page County notice. Make these people out of Page County notice who these Page County drivers are. Let me see if I got anything else here before I roll off here. It's about a 14-minute long video right now. Nothing really else. Like I said, I believe Warren County is this week. They start Tuesday night, 7 o'clock, up at Warren County Fairgrounds in Front Row, right off 522. Go underneath the I-66 bridge coming out of Front Royal. It's going to be on your right-hand side. I think it's past Torrey and DuPont, or Exalta now, past Torrey and past Exalta, here on the right-hand side. Go out and support that Powerball Derby too. I know the girl that runs it. She's a good friend of mine. I used to work with her up at the jail at RSW. Go out there and promote that show. Promote that promoter. Because they're not doing it with the promoter. They're doing it strictly through the fair board at Warren County. So go out there, support them, support that Power Wheels Derby. At Power Wheels Derby starts, I think, at 6. Like I said, if you have any questions, issues, whatever, go on to Warren County's Fair Board's Facebook page, website. If you have any questions about the Power Wheels Derby, contact the same place. They'll get you in line with Rachel for the Power Wheels Derby. I believe, if I'm 100% correct, it's a free entry fee, just like my shows used to be. So, looks like it's gonna rain. Somebody get in here. A little dark. A little dark out there on the horizon a little bit, but it's whatever. We need rain bad. So, like I said, this is Justin here from KFS Demo. Hope everybody has a good derby season, man. I mean, really, I want to see these numbers turn out. You would think since everybody's had a year layoff, that'd be big numbers, but it is what it is. Things happen for reasons that we don't want it to, and that's unfortunately not a very good reason for it the reason the turnouts are not happening. Like I said, I forgot while I'm promoting TJ McAuliffe and Deadman on here. Weekend in October, last weekend, Halloween weekend. Deadman Buried Alive 2, Cumberland, Maryland, Greater Cumberland Speedway. You got any questions on that? Get a hold of TJ on Facebook. Get a hold of Deadman Derby Productions on Facebook. And also get a hold of Deadman Production. Go to their website. All links will be provided in the description box below. I'm hoping, I know it's going to be a lot of Virginia boys go up to Deadman for Buried Alive 2. So I know we're going to get a good turnout there. Come Virginia boys, Virginia drivers. So, like I said, this is Justin here. This is my 17-minute long video. Didn't really want to go this long again, but whatever. Y'all have a good evening. It's Sunday here. Hopefully I get this thing posted this evening. Maybe in the morning. Depends on how busy I am here at work. So, this is Justin from KFS Demo. Y'all have a good one.